Hi everybody, so welcome back to my channel, World Earth View. Today I'm bringing you a newsletter from Martin Armstrong. I've subscribed to him for a few years. I really love his articles. So this one says over 37 head of cattle died from global warming in Montana, question mark. Yeah, question mark, here's this cow that has been buried in the snow. Marty, the winter of 2018 has been the coldest ever. We've lost so many heads of cattle here in Montana. I've never seen it this bad in my lifetime. These people preaching global warming belong in prison. Yeah, or treason. The federal livestock, Martin gives a reply, the federal livestock indemnity program paid out $11.1 million for the loss of 37,352 cattle in Montana in 2018. The ranchers and the Farm Service Agency say that there were more weather-related cattle deaths, but those deaths do not qualify for compensation from the indemnity program, which means the cattle ranchers got zero for this other weather-related deaths. So these people will send the European economy. When I think when Martin says these people, he means these people who are talking about CO2 and the warming instead of the cooling. They will send the European economy down even further, wiping out the economy growth by eliminating the combustion engine. So who wants the combustion engine wiped out? It's just insane. The damage that they are causing around the world is really insane. Yeah, it is. I mean, what are we going to do when we're not allowed to drive our cars? Only the politicians and the billionaires are allowed to have an airplane, a jet, a yacht, endless amounts of machinery that they can use to go hang out on the beach, and the rest of us are going to be freezing cold with our wood stoves, hopefully owning a horse or a cow that can get us around town. Um, there's going to be conflict here over this Grand Solar Minimum. One, because people are being lied to, and when people don't know the truth and they're confused, they're going to start lashing out in unreasonable ways. Even those that do have common sense, because they're going to be wondering why the food is scarce, why the food's so expensive you can't afford it, and they're going to think that it's because of mechanisms in the government that's controlled this, and that's not the reason why at all. The reason why there's going to be food shortages and it's going to be so expensive is because of the Grand Solar Minimum. And the Grand Solar Minimum is all about weather cooling, not warming. What it is the solar flares in the sun stop producing heat because the solar flares have basically gone to sleep in the sun's cycle. And with the solar flares going to sleep, there's less warmth and less heat produced to grow food. And you have to have at least a 80 degree, if not an 86-degree warmth for seeds to produce and grow food. Grow food, fruit, vegetables, flower, bloom, whatever your plant is doing. And you've got to have these plants to feed the animals, and you've also got to have a place where the animals can live without getting covered in snow and ice and hail and sleet and freezing winds. So this Grand Solar Minimum, if you want to find out more about it, there's really good channels, Adapt 2030, Ice Age Farmer, um, and Valentina Zarkova is really good about putting that information in regards to this. Also, John Casey has a couple of books about the Grand Solar Minimum coming up. Um, but along with the Grand Solar Minimum, you're going to have a lot of electrical occurrences because solar flares work off of a proton neutron. Is it proton neutron? Electron, sorry. Proton and electrons, which is positive and negative charges, and you can throw neutrons in there too, those are neutral, but basically it's protons and electrons, because everything in this world is electrical. Lightning, cloud formation, water, um, earthquakes, floods, everything that you can think of is electrical, and all that electricity is furnished by these solar flares coming from the sun. Well, the sun's going to sleep, it's not going to be providing electricity, And so therefore there's going to be a lot of unpredictable weather and a lot of events happening as far as you know earthquakes and volcanoes going off, which has been happening here recently too. So anyway, I want to give credit to Martin Armstrong's newsletter. He's fascinating. I love reading his stuff. Um, he's an economist. You can find his free newsletter at princetoneconomics.com and just sign up for it. But I wanted to share this with you because this has been going on for a couple of years, and I understand weather changes, but what we're going to be going into with the Grand Solar Minimum is going to be drastic changes, and we're going to have a lot of resources as far as food going away. So please be aware of this. It has nothing to do with the warming that's going on, or it has nothing to do with CO2. It's all about the Grand Solar Minimum, and I highly recommend that you check out the Grand Solar Minimum and sorry, my eye itches, and the science behind it. And it's really not even a science. It's just the sun is the sun, and no one can control it. And that's probably why these politicians and these fanatic followers of these politicians are going off so bad because they can't control it. So we all know that there's politicians out there and some people out there who want to be able to control everything. And when they find out they can't control it, well, then they have to lie about it. So here we are in a big, huge lie as far as weather. So check out other channels too on YouTube that covers this, and that would be Ice Age Farmer, Adapt 2030. There's the Grand Solar Minimum, Oppenheimer Ranch. Those are really good. But anyway, you need to inform yourself. You need to be able to grow your own food. It's harder than you think. It's easier than you think, but you need to know how to do it. It's hard to get started if you don't know what you're doing, but you're going to need to feed yourself. So stay with it, and you'll be able to start growing some food. But you definitely need to start being aware of what's going on. So it's probably going to really hit the fan after the election. I have a feeling that everything's going to stay status quo as far as prices and stocking the shelves. It's going to stay status quo until after the election. And I bet after the election, it's just there's going to be an upheaval of major proportions. But it's not going to be addressed as a Grand Solar Minimum. It's going to be addressed as war and pointing fingers. And boy, you can't wait. There's some people out there who really want to point the finger at Trump. So he's going to have a full plate after the election because I think he's going to be the fall guy. I can basically predict he's going to win because he's going to be the fall guy for all these people when they can't find food. And we're going to be out there fisticuffs with a radical group of people who want to blame somebody instead of just finding out the truth that it's the Grand Solar Minimum and the sun's going to sleep. So anyway, I'm going to get cut off from my video. I have Bandicam. I really like it, but I'm only allowed to go up to 10 minutes. So I hope you guys have a great day. Check out the other channels. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. And I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.